just drip slip through the pitfalls. I just wanna chill with the big dogs. House on the hill with a big dog. Make it a ride, I'm taking a lot. So it's about time that I get what I got. And it's about time that I get what I need. And yes, I'm needy, I need to succeed. Know what I need it all. So I don't live with my back to the wall. Don't have to answer whenever you call. Who that on the line? It don't matter, dog. Oh, not at all. Oh, what a gift. Just to be rich and not giving a shit. Just to be rich and not giving a shit. Pinky up, I'm gonna take me a sip.
I need the cash. Money signs on every bag. Green in the eye of each lad. Pockets so fat like I'm smuggling packs. I only deal with my time in these maps. Role playing the tactician and craft. Art of success, if I dub it, is that. As dinner's in fact guaranteed for a hunter. A winner I see in the mirror who trumping. I need my anthem to blare with some trumpets. Mama's fair for repair and she also consistently stable and nothing could offset me. A boss type beat, lead the starship, stream through outer space. I'm a star, baby boo, better watch the race. And you'll see me live today or die trying to just don't break. Except all the bread we make with 2 hands. Better get your ball together and stretch bands. Do it all for as long as you can. Get your sandwich ready and go hand. The baloney niggas just can't comprehend.
Yo, cash rules everything around me. In that I am drowning, cause I don't know accounting. Blame it on my school system, blame it on my county. In that I am drowning, blame it on my clowning. Blame it on my young and my dumb, and not knowing where it's from, and not knowing where it's going. Might as well throw it in the ocean. As I put my back in motion, might as well throw it on some drinks. Hit a Miami for 2 weeks, might as well throw it on the beach. I don't give a fuck about the economy. They ain't never helping those in poverty. They ain't never coming here to save you. Waiting on that trickle down in your rain boots. You the blood, sweat, and tears of this whole operation, though. You will make it operational, but don't deserve paid vacation, though. I don't know what I look like. Boo boo the fool, I'm losing my cool. I need to make moves, get my community under a groove. Like one nation, so we never lose. Nothing can stop us now. They will not knock us down. We will not chill while they chop us down. That is not simply allowed. I'm not the one to kowtow. Cash rules everything around me. In that I am drowning, cause I don't know accounting. Blame it on my school system, blame it on my county. In that I am drowning, blame it on my clowning. Blame it on my young and my dumb, and not knowing where it's from, and not knowing where it's going. Might as well throw it in the ocean. I put my back in motion, might as well throw it on some drinks. In a Miami for 2 weeks, might as well throw it on the beach. Oh yeah. She love to back it up when we in the club. She love show me love. Oh yeah. She love to back it up when we in the club. She love show me love. Oh yeah.
Baby girl, hold it right there. 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 Baby girl, hold it right there.
I would like to be traded to any other team but the New England Patriots.
Big brain predictions. That's what I got.
Take it off, sir.
The Washington football team beat the Steelers.
Right.
And that person.
EDP.
Yes, but if we lose this game, I firmly believe we do not need to make playoffs. So
Don't you ever disrespect
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the best show on the internet. glad you could join us for episode number 68 of After Further Review. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
I'm your other wonderful co-host, Shaquille Brown.
And I'm your actual favorite co-host, Malin. So how's everybody doing?
All right. Okay, got that.
Gentlemen, it is great to have you here for another week. We are now in the post of our NFL season.
If anything, I feel like at ease. Weight lifted off my shoulders.
Well, you guys are on the couch with me now, so there's room. Welcome.
I mean, due to technicalities and where things fall on the calendar, my team did survive in theory. Playoffs.
Okay. Shaq is using a 13-hour window as his leg up.
It's the only good thing Shaq's going to say about his own team the entire season.
No, there's more stuff to come. More to come.
Folks, we live stream the show on YouTube every single Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Melheim's Media YouTube channel. So if you are not already subscribed, you can hit the big red button here on YouTube, and you can subscribe to this channel, which will give you access to obviously this show. There's the Bush League podcast if you want some more sports. There's Uncensored Mics if you want everything that's happening in the world right now. There's Tony Black if you want something to laugh at. There's some Kilimanjaro Tribe if you want some history lessons there. There's a bunch of different shows on this network. So if you want to hit subscribe, you can keep up with everything that goes on this network. So not only drop a like on this stream, of course, but also subscribe so you can keep up with everything. And of course, if you did not know, if you're just one of the video viewers here on YouTube, you can just listen to this show. Just click the first link down in the description below to hear the audio version on Spotify and Apple. So please do that, because it's and when you do, leave us 5 stars on both of those platforms, because it helps the ratings of the show, boost us up there.
And it's what we deserve, 5 stars.
Exactly. What else are you gonna give us?
Exactly.
Now,
I mean, I don't think anyone in Philly has given us 5 stars.
hopefully they get the memo and just do it, but knowing how they work, they like to be different.
It's Philly.
Gentlemen, before we go any further, let's go ahead and take our shot to open up the show. Cheers all around. Cheers to you, Malin.
Cheers. I didn't ask you guys what you were drinking tonight.
Oh, our favorite, Shaq's real favorite.
Oh, Jesus.
Is that the Johnny Walker?
No, it is the Nectar of the Gods tequila.
Oh, God. Again. Okay.
It's going to be that show.
All right. And I got to get back because I'm going to have to carry the show the second half. This is...
G Money agrees. Says Philly fans aren't giving Philly 5 stars.
but a couple of weeks ago, they were talking about we're in the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll get to them just a little bit here. Yeah, we're just gonna hop right into the show. So we're gonna start off with, of course, the Wildcard weekend that just took place this past weekend. Got rid of all the teams that shouldn't be there in the first place.
Well.
And that started off with, of course, the Vegas Raiders. They lost to the Bengals 26-19. This was a very entertaining game from whistle to whistle. I wanted to ask you guys, what is the main reason you think the Raiders could not actually win this game? Shaq, I'm going to go to you first.
I just thought they were less of a team than the Bengals were. The Bengals, they can be inconsistent at times, but at the end of the day, I still think they're a very good team and better than LA at that time. So I give it to the Bengals. That's what I take from it, and that's why they lost.
G Money, we are not drinking Don Julio 1942. Would you like to pass me that bottle there?
I don't know where his budget lies on.
He has.
We are drinking Espolón.
But when the show gets wonderfully sponsored, that'll be the first thing we buy. Don Julio 1942.
Keep that
Listen,
in
I'm
mind, buddy.
pretty sure that G Money has a bottle of Don Julio
Probably
1942.
I'll put a nice high cabinet somewhere.
He has a cabinet full of stuff.
Malin, what do you think the main reason the Raiders lost this game was?
I think the main reason why they lost the game was talent. They're just not as talented. I think they are talented, but when you look at the Bengals, that defense has been playing great. The offense has been playing out of their minds like the last 4 weeks. They couldn't force a turnover. They did not lose. First of all, America, and if anybody in Las Vegas wants to hate me as much as Philly fans do, I apologize, but they did not lose because of that inadvertent whistle. Okay. That whistle was blown after the ball had already left Burrow's hand, and it blew within 2 seconds of Boyd catching that touchdown pass. Nobody on the Raiders side let up. Okay, that was a legitimate touchdown. Should it have happened? No. If you're following the letter of the law, they should have not. They should have replayed that down. But then you would have been robbing Cincinnati of a touchdown. So even though that officiating crew is getting punished and they're not working in the playoffs again, I still think they did the right thing by making that touchdown stand. But I mean, Burrow 242 or 244, 2 touchdowns. No turnovers. Mixon didn't even really have to do much, but it was entertaining. It was back and forth a little bit. It was one of only 2 games. It wasn't a blowout. So this whole super wild card weekend was more of like a wild card weekend. It was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm trying to think to last year. I feel like it was kind of the same story last year's, but anyway, this game. To me, it was, yes, they're definitely, like you guys said, talent. The Bengals just have a better team all around. The funny thing is, it felt like the Raiders had a ton of penalties called against them, but they were actually both pretty close in the amount of yards they were cost for penalties. But it seemed like the Raiders, their penalties came in really, really bad times. And of course, there's never a good time for a penalty, but there's definitely some more costly situations where, they get already a 3rd and 9, let's say, and then, false start, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 14, and it's like, they really did not make it easy on themselves in some already kind of iffy situations, and they just kept shooting themselves in the feet. There was that, and then, the talent thing, of course, and the turnovers. The Bengals did not turn over the ball once, and the Raiders sure did, which, I mean, hey, Derek Carr, he's bound to do it throughout a game, but Raiders, they had a good year. I got to give it to them. They made this game competitive. At least the other road teams did not, so at least they went out here and put up a good fight.
I will say this about the Raiders. Okay, I've been 40 years old. I've been watching football since, I don't know, good Lord, probably 4 or 5 years old. I can't remember a team making the playoffs with an interim head coach in the 35 plus years that I've been watching football. It may have happened. I normally know these types of things. If it didn't. If it did or didn't, that's why, G Money calls me Patty McStats. But I can't remember a team with an interim head coach actually making the playoffs. Usually when you get an interim head coach, the team folds, and they've been through a lot this year. And so for them to even rally the way that they did and make the playoffs in the division where the Broncos started 3-0, right? The Chargers were right there, and they were a timeout away from making the playoffs. And so in the AFC West, one of the more competitive divisions, for the Raiders to even make it I think that's a good year for them. I do kind of want to know, is Derek Carr the type of quarterback that can lead a team to a Super Bowl? Is he going to be the next Amish rifle of an Andy Dalton, where a team can go to the playoffs? He can take them to the playoffs, but it doesn't mean he's going to win in the playoffs. Like, is he of that type of caliber that can take a team to the promised land?
Shaq, do you want to read that most recent message from
G-Money basically saying Derek Carr threw the double coverage. It appeared that he already made up his mind on who he wanted to throw the ball to before the snap even happened. Probably. I give it. Derek Carr probably is like, you know, panic mode. This is the man I want to go to. I'm just going to go to him and hopefully he makes a play.
He did that several times throughout the game, like he normally does. But he did make some, I got to give him credit. Down that stretch, that last drive that they came up short on, he made some big throws. The one to Waller where he put it through double or triple coverage, he hit him with a rope. He had some big throws, but that's that's Derek Carr for you. He'll make some really nice throws and there's some boneheaded ones in there. To answer your question, Malin, I feel like he's enough. I think I'd take him over Andy Dalton, even younger Andy Dalton, of course. I feel like he's got just a bit more gunslinger in him, and he'll take more of a risk, which can bite you in the ass, but I feel like he's got enough in him to get it done, as long as the supporting cast is there.
The only thing is that being a gunslinger doesn't work as a quarterback in the NFL anymore long term.
Yeah,
this isn't the 90s where you could be Brett Favre being hopped up on painkillers and winning MVPs and winning a Super Bowl. You're not winning a Super Bowl when you're throwing over 15 to 20 interceptions a year. And he does take those risks. And he always, he knows who his most talented people are, and those are the only people it looks like. Just like G-Money said, he knew when he was going to throw the rent throw. He knew when he was going to throw the Waller. He wasn't doing his reads during that game. And I also didn't like the fact that he kind of seemed fine with losing. You know what I mean? It didn't bother him. He seemed more happy that they got to the playoffs than he was upset that they lost in the playoffs. So that was kind of weird to me when I was watching his demeanor on the sideline and in his post press conference.
He probably had that mentality that I know you're probably gonna lose this game, so I'm just happy that we're partaking.
Well, no, that was Big Ben. Big Ben had that mentality. Now
we will get there in just a moment. All right, Derek Carr, great job, man. You tried. We'll see you next year. Next game, Tampa absolutely destroyed Philly, 31-15, right here in Raymond James Stadium. Kind of a weird rainy day that was, but didn't matter. Tampa handled their business. On a scale of 1 to 10, Malin, how impressed were you with the way Tampa won this game?
I'm gonna go 5 on this, and the reason why I'm gonna go 5 is because they did what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to handle their business, and they were supposed to win this game. Now, they ended up being up 31-0 on the Eagles because the Eagles didn't do anything that they were supposed to do. They couldn't muster up a running game. I like how magically after the year's over, Jalen Hurts is in a walking boot, and they say that he's had an ankle or a calf injury forever. And so that's why he wasn't dynamic. I still don't understand how Eagles fans are still sold on Jalen Hurts being a franchise quarterback. In any comparison to Hurts and Russell Wilson, is just downright disrespectful to Wilson.
Who's
so
saying
they
that?
need to stop that.
Philly fans, that's who's saying that?
No, I hear it on that sister network, ESPN, all the time. That they're always saying stupid shit like that. But no, so Hurts had a bad game. I mean, he was 23 for 43, 258. He had a touchdown, but he had 2 costly interceptions, 2 very costly interceptions. In times where they could have made it a game in the first half if he wasn't throwing that especially that first pick he threw. But the Tampa did what they were supposed to do. They won the game. Unfortunately, they didn't come out unscathed. They have injuries. They lost their center to an injury that came back, but he was still hobbled. Their right tackle, he tried to come back in, then gave up a sack to Brady, which Brady probably didn't like very much because he didn't like being touched. And then he went back out, and he's probably not going to play this week because of his ankle injury. And so they handle their business, but they're hurt. And, but I mean, like, they literally have Evans is their only target right now. And he had a good game. I mean, 9 catches, 115, 120 yards in a touchdown that game. He did good, but can they keep doing that in the playoffs? So I'm going to go with a 5 because they did what we thought they were going to do.
I'm going to go, Mainland, I agree with you 100%, except I'm going to drop mine to like a 3. It was not impressive at all to me. They handled their business. The first half, like you said, Philly really could have made that a game. Like, their defense was making stops. They were getting TB12 off the field, and it seemed like if the offense could just capitalize, and then here comes Hurts with a pick, and it's like, Jesus, man, like, we're defense is giving you guys opportunities, but you can't seem to stay on the field for more than a single possession. They just kept shooting themselves in the foot, and it's like, if you keep giving Brady opportunities, he's going to cash in quickly. Like, this is not your average Joe on the other side of the ball there, so you can't be doing that. But yeah, for Tampa, I'm not impressed. They did what they should have. The real test is coming up this next weekend. If they can get sort of healthy, get whatever they can together, because they're going to need everybody to get the job done. Shaq.
I was gonna go I'm gonna go 4. It was their game to win. It wasn't. Everybody predicted that the Bucks would beat Philly. It's Philly. I'm sorry not to insult y'all, but like, it's the Bucks. They're a powerhouse team right now. Even injured and all, they're still gonna beat y'all at Tampa. I don't know what y'all want to expect. They're not gonna let you come to their home and. So for all those Philly fans that we saw traveling to Tampa thinking that it was going to be like a thing.
There are a lot here.
Yes, there are a lot here. It wasn't going to happen. This is a good...
Now, there was a little bit of part of me that was a little bit nervous about the 8.5 point spread, even though I picked it because of the weather. Because all of a sudden there's going to be all this wind, there's going to be some rain, and Philly was the number 1 rushing team in the NFL, and I was like, okay, well, maybe they could get a running game going. And Tampa is kind of feeling themselves with the whole Tampa Bay thing right now. Like, Tampa Bay was posting on social media that the playoffs belonged in Tampa. And I'm like, you act like you've been going to the playoffs for like the last decade. Like, shut up. You've been one time. This is their first home. No, this is their first home playoff game since 2007. Jeez. And they're acting like, hey, we are like the benchmark of the NFL right now. Like, they forget that they were a wildcard team last year. But no. So, I mean, the Eagles just, they couldn't do anything in that game. So I was a little bit nervous, I will admit. But about after 2 Eagles possessions, I was like, nah, Tampa's good.
I wasn't as worried because it's kind of like it's rainy and everything, but it's like, this is Tampa. This is kind of like part of our weather also. So it's kind of like we're also used to the fact that it rains down here, and during the summer, it's 90% of the time it's gonna rain. So in hopes that these guys can remember, hey, we're Floridians, water don't really bother us that much. Let's go ahead and play football.
But we normally don't play football games in like 50-mile-an-hour gusts, though. And there was a tornado that hit St. Petersburg and ripped up a couple houses. So it was a little weird weather. It was a little weird.
Next game, last one for the recap. This was just on Monday night, the last Monday. Can we get a little raise them up high for the last Monday night game of the year? There's a French horn playing right now. Damn it.
God bless.
It's a shame, boys. Until next year. Mondays are back to just being Mondays. Anyway, the 49ers did... I read this incorrectly.
You did, because it wasn't the Monday night game. I was I thought maybe you were changing the script on me, Jalen. This is why you don't drink tequila.
I was saying
God damn it.
tequila, dude.
I literally
This
just saw San Francisco and just immediately associated NFC West, and I
This
was
is
like,
why
wait.
you don't drink tequila. I was like, did you see how timid I was on my glass? I was like, wait, what's he doing? This is not the rundown he gave me. This is not the rundown. So no. So
Anyway, regardless, rest in peace, Monday Night Football. Anyway,
what he
Sunday,
really meant was Sunday at 4:30. People.
yes,
There you go.
the Niners did beat the Cowboys like everybody except Dallas fans thought, 23-17. Obviously, this was lost in typical Dallas fashion and just dramatic rule checking and fact checking and discount double checking. Did the refs cost the Cowboys this game? I'll just say this really quickly. Absolutely not. This is why you have the other 99% of the game to take care of your business. If you're relying on these weird situations, it's not going to fall in your favor. The refs, the NFL is not going to change the rules or make something weird happen. You know what you have to do. The ref has to touch the damn ball before you can snap it. It's simple as that. You shouldn't have done the stupid shit you were doing anyway to get in that position. That's just my take. Jimmy G gave you all the opportunities in the world to win this game before that, and you still couldn't do anything with it, but here we are. Shaq.
Yeah, I agree, Jalen. You have the whole entire game to win this game, and you decided that the last second of this game, I really want to win. They literally say that in every sport. Take it out of the ref's hands and go ahead and do it. They say UFC, basketball, any game. Just go ahead and get this game done early so you don't have to worry about fourth quarter or the end of the fourth quarter. Yeah, technicalities and small little rules like that. Why are you even waiting that long to decide you want to, you know what, I want to win now. So you have nobody to blame but yourself at the end of the day and the game. So,
Malin?
No, the refs did not cost them the game. Now that 50-year-old man that got fooled thinking it was going to be a pass play and decided to run in there like Dick Butkus at the very end and he was late. Okay? It may have cost him an opportunity to win the game, but he didn't make them lose the game. They did that all in themselves. Okay, 5 of 14 on third down, only 4.7 yards per pass play in the entire game. 4.7 yards per pass play. Okay, Dak was sacked 5 times on that busted ass ankle that he's still healing from last year, and they had 14 penalties for 89 yards. That 14 penalty was the most that the Cowboys have had in postseason history. If you know anything about Dallas, which I'm sorry if you do, they've been to the playoffs a lot of times. They've been to the playoffs. I mean, 70s, even the 80s, the 90s. I mean, they've been to the playoffs a lot. In the last 25 years, they haven't done much, but they were in the playoffs a lot before that. But no, so that play was bad on Dak.
Yeah.
Because I understand maybe running a QB sneak on that one play because they flooded the sidelines to where they weren't going to get they weren't going to get a pass play to the sideline. His problem is he ran too far. He didn't need to get all the way down to where he did, and then all of a sudden, he's looking. You could see he kind of looked over his shoulder for where the ref was, and he was like, well, fuck it, the ref's not here, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to my center. Well, that's not how the NFL works. And that ref did get fooled. If you watch it, you can see that he backed up thinking it was going to be a pass, and the moment it became a run, his little 50-year-old ass just started trying to huff it. And he was like, oh, my God. And he just couldn't get there in time. And there wasn't really a lane for him to get into. He's like, rolling over the offensive line to try to get over there. It was a mess. It was a fiasco. It was a bad look for the Cowboys, but in my opinion, it was also a kind of a bad look for the NFL. At this point, I just gotta say this. Why on an $8.9 billion operation does the NFL not have full-time officials? Why do we not have full-time officials? Why can we not pay them a livable wage? And why does every single one of them have to be older than me? Like, what? Who? We're relying on eyesight. Okay. My eyesight's fading. I don't know anyone over the age of 40 that has the eyesight that they were in their 20s. Like, why are we not getting full-time officials in their mid-20s to 30s that could actually follow a play, that have decent eye? Like, I don't understand why we still have this happening right now. Like, every time I see these officials, and I'm like, first of all, I'm really sorry that they make you wear those skin-tight shirts because we see the pudge, and that's not good. But then we're like, then we dog on them when they make a wrong play, and I'm like, this man has to go see an optometrist like 15 times a year. Like, what the fuck? He's like 55 years old.
And
So no, they
the
need to do something.
NBA has these refs that the players can't stop macking game to 20 times throughout the season. That's what bothers me. How many times are you gonna see Dwight Howard and all these other players over there talking shit to these refs, trying to get games? Like, can we please find a perfect balance?
But at least those refs only have to go up and down a court.
Right.
You know what I mean? But these NFL officials, they're on the field the entire game, 100-yard field. And you're like, really? Like, that man was probably winded by the end of the game anyways. Did you see him? Like, he had his, like, after the game was over, he had his hands on his hips, and he was like, oh. He was like, son of a bitch, Dak, why'd you run that ball? He was like, you were supposed to pass it. So no, it was just a bad look all around, but it was really bad for Dallas because Dallas once again showed us what they are for the last 25 years. Yep. They're a team that's always going to overachieve because of a very bad division, and they thought that everyone was going to forget that Dallas won 4 out of their last 5 games against division opponents, and the only team they lost to was the Cardinals that got their ass whooped by the Rams. All right, so like, let's not kid ourselves that they were as good as what their record was.
G Money says, "Hey Patty, seniors need jobs too. Quit hating on them."
They do, but they could work in, the senior living facilities like G Money does. They don't have to be refs.
I guess the NFL thinks that if you're young and spry, you can't possibly know NFL officiating. It's not physically possible.
He's like, I know you're.
Apparently, you can know. Okay, apparently you can know coaching though. I mean, Tom Brady is younger than every other NFC coach in the playoffs right now. So you're young enough to coach and call the plays. Just saying.
Like, I know you're 52, but what's your 40? You need to coach.
See how fast you can run up and down this field with some sweats on.
52-year-old guy in ref outfit trying to run 40, making sure he's good to be a ref.
See how fast your burst
That's a 4.8.
Like they look like Major League Baseball managers out there. And all they have to do is sit in the dugout. These people are running around the field, like, calling plays. Like, you wonder why we need so much replay.
Now that you say that they do have the same exact build, the refs in Major League Baseball. All right. Anyway, that's it for the recap this week, folks. We are going to get into my usual favorite topic of the week. Not this week. And that is, of course, the L's of the week. I'm not sure if this. All right. L's of the week. We are going to start off with my own team. We found our way back into this category, folks. I'm not sure if we were ever in this category this year, but it's the first for everything.
Lucky you.
We got absolutely demolished by the Buffalo Bills in Orchard Park, 47-17, and it should have been even more than 47, to be honest. But yeah, we just got completely annihilated. I did not want to talk about this team for the last 48 hours after this game, but yeah, no, not enough time to collect my thoughts. Yeah, I mean, the Bills just kind of went to show this right now. They own this division, and we are trying to figure out a way to regain control, and this went to show like we are still really not even close. Like they are extremely talented. Josh Allen is a problem, and we need to solve that problem if we want any chance of actually competing with the Bills when it matters, of course. They've got talent all over the field, but Allen is an absolute stud. I have all props to him. I really like Josh Allen. Like I don't give a damn about anybody else on that team, but Josh Allen is a monster. I love that dude. But unfortunately, he picked us apart and had a field day with us. To me, the defense just did not show up whatsoever. Thanks, defense. Offense tried to do what they could, but this offense cannot play from behind. We are not high-powered. We're not highly talented. We're not fast. So if we are down by more than a touchdown, you can forget about it. It is what it is. Mac Jones, strangely, I didn't think he played terribly. I think he played all right. You know, in the situation he was in, I really did not expect much from him once things started to get out of hand. But when it was still sort of close, like when we were down 7-0, he was making some throws. Like dudes were just dropping passes, and it seemed like Mac came to play. He made a big first down run on his own, but the rest of the team just was not doing enough, and things got out of hand, and that was that. To wrap this up, I think for us, we will not be able to avenge this loss until we can beat Buffalo in the playoffs, or if it's in a late regular season situation where we win the division over them in a head-to-head game. In a big game, we need to beat the Bills when it really matters, because until then, I think this is just goes to show, like, yeah, you guys might beat them once a year when it doesn't really matter, but in the totality of this, it's still the Bills division for right now, and we need to figure out a way to take that back. So, Malin, what did you think about this?
I don't know. Like when I was watching that game, all I could think of was Rocky 4, and the guy in the corner is Apollo Creed was getting his ass kicked, yelling at Rocky to throw in the damn towel. Like there needed to be a mercy rule in this game. They were the first, like they set records against Bill Belichick's defense. Like we can't ignore this. The fact that they had 8 possessions in the game and they scored 7 touchdowns on the first 7, they ran out the clock on the last possession. That has never happened in the playoffs, to where a team did not have to punt, they didn't have to try a field goal, they didn't have a turnover, and they didn't have a turnover on downs. Like it was insane. Like every time that Buffalo got the ball, they scored a touchdown. There isn't anything that Jones was going to be able to, like you said, he wasn't bad. He threw for like 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. I know he had 2 interceptions. They were a little costly. They weren't good interceptions. But he was kind of balling a little bit in that first quarter. But the moment that they got behind, even by 14 points, you just knew that was a slippery slope and the game was going to just go away from him. And Allen, with his 5 touchdowns throughout that game, Singletary's coming along like a beast throughout the second half of of this year. And even like 16 carries for 81 yards. That's pretty good, but they didn't even really need him to run the ball. And so I do think one thing I will say is that I'm thankful that you now have a team in a challenging division, like my Seahawks are in a challenging division, so you will know the pain that I have to go through, that even though you have a good team, it might not always be the best team in the division. So I'm thankful for that. You don't get to run all over everybody like you did for 20 years with Brady. And I think that the Patriots are going to have to get used to the fact that they don't have the best quarterback in the division.
Right.
And they're not going to for the next like 10 to 12 years.
Right.
Because Jones, I think, will be a very good quarterback. I think it'll be a very good quarterback. I won't say great, but I think he'd be very good. But I don't think he'll be as good as Allen. I think Allen is going to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL for a very long time. I mean, he had 64 yards rushing, 308 yards passing, and 5 touchdowns. Like, he is the ultimate dual threat. No one wants to talk about him being the dual threat quarterback because he's a white guy that looks a little bit clunky when he runs the ball. but he throws the ball better than any other dual threat quarterback, and he runs when he has to. So I think the Bills, the Bills are gonna be a team that's gonna be around for a long time with this current makeup.
Real quick before you go, Shaq. Mac Jones, he can be very good, but he's never gonna be half of what Josh Allen is. That motherfucker's unreal. I know he might look kind of clunky, but he looks clunky because he's running dudes over as he gets down the field. Like, he is a monster, and he's gonna control this, probably the AFC, him and Patrick Mahomes, for a very long time.
You want to know something weird about the whole Josh Allen thing? Want to know who wanted to draft Josh Allen?
Who's that?
Seahawks.
Yikes.
Before they gave Russell Wilson his second contract, John Schneider wanted to move on from Russell Wilson and draft Josh Allen because of what he saw. Like, how different could the Seahawks organization be if they'd had Josh Allen on a rookie deal, like they had Russell Wilson on a rookie deal? Now, I love Russell Wilson. But he's not as good of a quarterback right now as Josh Allen is. Now, Josh Allen didn't really show that for the first 2 years either. Like he was good, but he wasn't great. But he kind of hit this second win, and it's like, what the is going on in Buffalo?
Yeah,
and I do think that Diggs is the biggest component of that.
Yeah,
you give him an alpha wide receiver, not Beasley, who cares more about vaccines or whatever. But Diggs is a clear number one.
Yeah,
but yeah, so Seattle wanted to draft Allen.
Yeah, I think a part of that was he finally learned, because he was getting sacked a lot with dudes draped all over him in the backfield, like when he was still in the pocket. But once he learned, hey, if I can pick up some momentum and just start going downhill, these dudes can't stop me. Like, I can literally just run these people over.
My thing about that is Buffalo is such an explosive offense that it's hard. And I believe Allen is what, don't get me wrong and twisted about this, but I feel like Allen is what Cam Newton should have been if Cam Newton had a passing game right now. If you train that man to throw the ball, that's literally what Allen is right now. He's some sort of more improved Cam Newton. Homeboy can move, homeboy can absorb a hit, will get you the yardage you need on the ground, but he actually has an arm, so it's a very threatening combo. So it's kind of like, this man is elite. The man has best of both worlds. I do not care what he does, but he will get you there. If he has to put it out on the ground and take it himself, he will do it, and he will get there. So we've seen this man juke linebackers and corners and just stiff arm and absorb a hit. It's like, do you want him doing that? No, but he can, and he will. But
I like that comparison because he's not as electrifying as Michael Vick was.
Right.
No.
Or even Lamar Jackson at running the ball. Like, he's not electrifying at doing that. But he's a much better passer than any of them. And he's a much better passer than Cam Newton ever was.
Right.
And Cam Newton won an MVP, for God's sakes. I still don't understand how that happened. But yeah, I do like that comparison.
Yes. His run style is more of a Cam Newton when it comes to quarterback wise, where he's just gonna go in, he's gonna take a hit, he's gonna absorb, he's gonna try, but he's not like agile. Where Michael Vick was like out there juking people, running circles around defenses. But yeah, that's my comparison.
The only other thing though is that the Bills don't need him to necessarily run like Cam Newton all the time. Like, what shortened Cam Newton's career was the beating he took.
Yeah.
From having to run the ball. They don't need him to run the ball all the time,
right?
Like Carolina did. So he still, like, he does still take some shots. I'm worried a little bit about some of the shots he takes, but I do think he'll have much more longevity than Cam Newton did because he's not going to take near as much the type of punishment.
True.
Moving on to the next game here, going to Shaq's corner on this one. The Steelers also got blown out 42-21 in Kansas City in Ben Roethlisberger's final game. Shaq, what did you think about your team finally coming to their demise?
They looked okay the first quarter and a half, 2 quarters of the game where they held up Kansas City from points. They weren't scoring anything themselves, but their defense looked good. And then once we got that pick six off the game, I was like, okay, maybe there's something there. But then the offense just couldn't produce anything after that. And once Kansas City got the momentum, scored their first touchdown, it's kind of like you saw them score, and it kind of like, and this is where it starts. And we just know Big Ben could not keep up offensively. Defense can only hold off so long against Kansas City. So my only thing that I would say to the Judges team is I wish they would have popped off or did something earlier in the game. They really need to catch momentum early, and that was the only way for them to really keep up. Do not wait till Kansas City stop playing the game to decide you want to score points on the thing. Sucks. I respect Big Ben as much as I trash talk him on the show. To hate to see him go as a career is done. God knows what's gonna happen to us QB wise in our situation from this point on. They got 2 quarterbacks that to put together don't make half, so we will see what goes on with the thing. I'm very happy. I mean, I still like my team at the end of the day. It just sucks that we drew the short card with the way that we ended up in the playoffs, being last one against Kansas City. We all saw this coming. Like, Kansas City's going to work the hell out of us. And
I mean, they should have given my team a 12.5 point spread. Jesus, it didn't make any difference in the end.
But I can't hate. It just sucks that our offense is just the most unproductive thing ever going into this game.
Yeah. Malin?
I mean, KC did what we needed them to do because Jalen and I took them and the points, and I normally would not take a point spread over 12.5. But the last 12 teams have a point spread in double digits in the playoffs actually covered, so I felt pretty good about it. Jesus. It was interesting. First of all, it's always fun when we go to Miller's Ale House and watch a game. There always seems to be like a drunk bartender, somebody wants to fight me, weird things that happen. There were some people from Maryland that were just being weird, whatever. Now, Pittsburgh did do good in the first quarter. Like, they held KC scoreless. They didn't do anything themselves in the first quarter, but they held them scoreless. The wheels came off after that pick six. Now, let's not forget about the fact that, yes, TJ Watt is a monster, and he literally could do anything. Like, he could probably be the next quarterback of the Steelers. I wouldn't doubt it.
And I would support it.
But all of a sudden, KC scores 5 touchdowns in 11 minutes of game time between the second and third quarter. I was just like, it was almost like if I looked down to eat a French fry, like all of a sudden they scored a touchdown. And I was like, wait a minute, who scored this one next? And I don't even know who number 1 is for Kansas City. I call him Kevin Hart because he looks like Kevin Hart. He looked like Kevin Hart. I got everybody in the bar calling him Kevin Hart.
I also had everybody in the bar calling people other things too.
Yes, I did. But we're not gonna talk about Tech Squad. We're not talking about tech support. But no, like I think his last name is. I think his last name is McMichaels. But yes, there were some people in the bar that were having a very heated argument about whether or not Michael Jordan or LeBron James, which one was the greatest. God. And tech support was losing that argument. They were very animated in that subject. I was looking at them and I was like, man, y'all better quiet down because them people whoop your ass. Like you could wipe out a hard drive. Yeah, like they could wipe out a hard drive like it was nothing, but they wiped the floor with them if they kept talking. So that was interesting. But that's what happens when we go to Miller's Ale House. It's just weird. I don't know if it's a part of town or what. But it just trouble just seems to always be there. But yeah, so Kevin Hart played good. He had some nice catches and runs, scored a couple touchdowns. Mahomes throws for 5 touchdowns like everyone thought he would. But one of the reasons why Pittsburgh couldn't do anything in that game was just like I said last week. Najee Harris was hurt. He hurt his elbow. He only had 12 carries for 29 yards. They had no running game, and so can't put the ball in Big Ben's hands against that explosive of an offense if you can't sustain drives. Like, how did KC score 5 touchdowns in 11 minutes of game time? Because Pittsburgh couldn't sustain drives. They were 3 and out all the time, or a turnover would happen, and so like they couldn't do anything. And so at the end of the day, it was the injury of the Najee Harris. They couldn't control the clock. And after KC got rolling, there was just nothing that Pittsburgh could do to stop them.
Yeah, I just fully agree with you guys. I have not much to say about this one. Yeah, like Shaq said, once Kansas City gets momentum, hang it up. Like that's the key to stopping them. Just don't let them get the momentum in the first place. Because once they do, there's literally nothing you can do about that. I will say this though, people at home, if you can guess who tech support is.
Yes. You just use your imagination. I promise you you're correct.
Shush. What happens at Mills Ale House stays at Mills Ale House.
I'm just happy that the Mills we go to is in the neck of the woods that it is. Can you imagine if we went to the other Mills Ale House that we used to go to and bring Malin with us?
Oh, the one in on Fowler.
Yes. Can you imagine the predicaments we would end up into on a weekly basis?
I know. Oh no, I know what predicament we would be into. It would be me defending myself and Shaq having a drink with somebody that wants to beat me up. That's what would happen.
And by default, somehow we all end up in jail for the night. So
Shaq wouldn't be in jail because Shaq will never have my back. Shaq is just,
first of all,
whatever happens.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on to this game.
Why am I? Jalen wants to go put fries in the car. Somehow I'm the evil person.
We have already talked this to exhaustion like 3 months ago. Next,
I always know I am on my own when it comes to shenanigans.
At least I was there physically.
I know who has my back.
Next up on the list here, the Rams beat down the Cardinals. This was the game I was thinking the earlier one was. The Rams beat down the Cardinals 34-11
Monday night.
On Monday night. Rest in peace. Rip Monday night. Yeah, mainly what'd you think about this one? This was your division. Beating each other out of the playoffs. What'd you think?
Well, the Rams did an interesting thing in this game. They proved me right and they proved me wrong at the exact same damn time. They proved me right in the fact that I said that the Cardinals fade in the second half of the year every year. Even with Kingsbury, because he has a terrible record in the second half, even from college and the pros. He's only won 30% of his games in the second half of any college season or NFL season. Where they also proved me wrong is that I overthought my pick on this. This is the only pick that I was wrong, okay? Because I thought a division opponent, they're always tighter. They always play closer in division games. And with the Rams not having any other safeties, Eric Weddle, that hadn't played a game since 2019, is number 20 was back there in the secondary for the Rams, and I was like, okay, so I really think that the Cardinals could have covered the 4 points. I quickly figured out within like the first 5 to 10 minutes of that game that just wasn't going to happen. Kyler Murray looked on the sideline like he wished that he was playing baseball. He did not look interested in being there at all. He didn't look happy. He looked pissed off like the whole game. And, that stupid goal line thing where he was going to take a safety and he was damn near on his back and just throws the ball up like my 5-year-old would throw the ball to me, and it gets intercepted for a pick six. I was like, what the are we doing? Like, what is, like, this is preseason shenanigans right now. So I don't know. So yes, I was wrong on this pick. I do think the Rams are a serious threat, though. The Cardinals decided that they were not going to let Cooper Kupp beat them, so they double teamed him the whole time, and all that meant was that Odell Beckham got 4 catches for 54 yards and a touchdown. Stafford broke his 13-year streak of not winning a playoff game. Congratulations to him. But that defense was freaking
Yeah.
crazy. Like they were so fast, so fast. It didn't matter what they were, what the Cardinals tried to do. Like they were always there to stop it. And the last thing I'll say about this game is that I'm glad that Buda Baker, who is a Washington Husky alum, was not seriously injured on that play where he got knocked out with Cam Akers running over him. And I would like to also defend Cam Akers a little bit when he was kind of waving night to him. That kind of looked like an asshole move. But when you watch the replay, you can kind of see that he really didn't understand how serious it was. And he was just caught up in the emotion of like his second game back and in the playoffs and stuff like that. But I still think some Cardinals probably want to whoop his ass. So hopefully he stays safe.
Check.
I didn't expect the Cardinals to win this game, to be honest with you. We saw their production towards the end of the year. The Rams are forever the Rams throughout the entire season. And yeah. They were great beginning of the season. Everyone predicted them to be like, oh shit, Cardinals, powerhouse. This, that, man. It fell apart at the seams. Not much postseason production in the past however many years, so I expect them to come out now when they had problems to come out and win and do things. So,
yeah, the Rams defense played out of their minds, and big props to their punter Hecker. He kept between the defense and him. He kept them pinned. It seemed like they were starting from their own 5-yard line every time the Cardinals had the damn ball. Like they made sure to make it difficult on the Cardinals.
Wait a minute. You cannot give props to Hecker. Hecker is a little bitch. Okay. There is, I think it was 4 years ago, playing against the Seahawks. Okay. Hecker punts the ball, and it was actually probably 5 years ago. And while the return's going on, he runs over and he knocks down Michael Bennett from behind. Okay. And then all of a sudden, Cliff Averill runs over and he cowers in the fetal position because he knew that Averill was about to knock his ass out. And then on the next 2 times that Hecker punted, Bennett and Averill made him get down in the fetal position because he was scared they were going to knock the shit out of him. So he's the type of punk that wants to hit somebody in the back, but he don't want that smoke. He lives his life in the fetal position around real football players. So fuck Hecker. Little
I
bitch.
cannot vouch for his former behavior. I'm just saying he played a good game this last Monday.
He kicked a football.
Yeah, the Rams they played really, really well. The Cardinals just simply didn't. They couldn't get much of anything going on offense. And yeah, they just, they turned back into the Cardinals, and the Rams are once again looking like the team we thought they were at the beginning of the year when they blew out Tampa in LA. So we'll see if they can keep that up. We'll get into that in a little while.
I like how Kupp had a touchdown. Odell had a touchdown. Von Miller had 2 sacks. Aaron Donald does what Aaron Donald does. And you highlight the punter, Jalen.
I'm just saying.
What are you? that's Jalen's sitting back and be like, you know what? My team's not anymore, but that is one hell of a punter. Yes. Kicking the shit out of that ball.
He made some good kicks. You want to not credit the man? Anyway, we're gonna get out the NFL for a little while here. Switching over to the NBA, the Trailblazers got absolutely destroyed by the Nuggets, 140-108. Now, we did talk about Dame Lillard being out last week with his, I think it's an abdominal injury that he's out with for the next foreseeable future.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if he even ends up playing the rest of the year. Yeah, the Nuggets just went to show, you guys really need to do something because without your best player, you are not doing anything at all, and you look like one of the worst teams in the NBA. it was a good opportunity for the Nuggets to flex and really look great, but the Blazers without their two best players, just forget about it. Like Portland, I hope you get it figured out, but Malin?
Well, Portland's not going to get it figured out because they're never going to spend the money. They're a small market team. They're never going to have the money to put other people with Dame. And it's kind of sad that Portland is going to end up leaving his career with no championships because I don't think he's ever going to want to leave. He's always said that he doesn't want to leave. He wants to win a championship, quote unquote, the right way. But the right way has changed in the NBA in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, Denver, though, I mean, they put on a clinic. They were 62% from the shooting, 50% from 3-point range, and they out rebounded them by I think 8 rebounds in that game. Like any type of statistic that you thought that a team should win, and that means that they're going to win. Like they won that area of the game. Like Portland has nothing outside of Dame, and it's sad. And he's probably not going to come back because they say it's a 6-week recovery, but they're going to be. They were the 10 seed when he got hurt.
Mm.
They're not going to be anywhere close to the playoffs, so they might as well just shut him down for the rest of the year.
Shaq?
Yeah, losing your best player in your team really it's going to affect the rest of the season. So, like, man said, go ahead and make this man chill for the next season. Be prepared. There's no point in rushing him out there for what? If you're the 10th seed with him in there, rushing him back really isn't going to change anything at all for your team.
Yeah.
Just make him chill, relax, play the season out, see what it goes, and bring him back next season and get this man some help whenever new season starts.
I agree with everything but that last bit there. Go ahead and trade him away. Go ahead, set him free.
I mean, if this homeboy wants to stay, sure, but
Portland, set him free, please.
Didn't Portland still have don't they still have a better record than the Lakers right now though? Like even without Dame, don't they still have a better record than the Lakers?
I know you guys
really
drag that circus into this show this week, but I refuse to talk about them this week.
Just throwing that out there, man. Hey, listen, I'm just saying Westbrook threw down that dunk on the 7-footer. He started flexing to the crowd like, "What are you gonna say about me now?" And we're like, "Well, we're still gonna say you turned the ball over like 7 times a game." Like, that's what we're
but say. Remember that one game you didn't have any turnovers? Remember that?
When we talked about that one game, we talked about literally everything else but him on that show.
Yes. We try to avoid so much topics on this show that's triggering for us. Big Ben, Westbrook, and Dwight Howard.
I'm out here trying to get Shaq triggered. I'm trying my hardest.
I can't stand half the Lakers rosters right now, but
okay.
Shaq and I are way too agreeable right now. I gotta get them fired up here.
Second half. Another team out west that completely destroyed the Chicago Bulls, the Warriors, 138-96. Warriors had gotten blown out the night before by the Bucks, so they were like, listen, somebody's about to get this work. And the Bulls caught themselves on the wrong side of the stick, and they just got absolutely lit up. When you get blown out by over 40 points, like, that's got to be a tough ride home back, because this was in Chicago, so I'm assuming the rest of the players went back to their own bed. Like, that's not fun.
Here's my thing. If I was the Bulls and I saw what Golden State went through the game before, I would have went ahead and bought like a gallon worth of lube, because they know damn well they're working your shit the next game. They are not about to lose 2 games in a row after losing that game to them. So they're going to murk the shit out of you here in a real minute. The best believe they're going to be throwing up a shit. Everything's going to be automatic.
But the crazy thing is that like they didn't even lose by like the usual suspects. Like Curry only had 19 points in that game.
Yeah,
it was I don't even know how to pronounce the name. Jonathan Kuminga. Kumiba. Is that how you pronounce it? The rookie.
I don't know how to pronounce his name either, but
He's
I know you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure it's Kumiba.
Mhm.
He scored 25 points in 26 minutes in that game.
Yeah.
And he's a rookie. Like he was balling, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, damn, okay, so they already got Clay back, and they already got the greatest shooter. They got Draymond Green, and so what is the worst thing that could happen in the NBA? Oh, I don't know, maybe this rookie coming out and just being an insane talent and lighting the NBA up. So he was actually really impressive, and I looked at some of his few games, and he's actually been playing good like the last month. So he's really starting to kind of come alive a little bit. And poor Bulls. I mean, how are you the number one seed in the East and get spanked this bad by somebody? This is like the West versus the East all over again when LeBron used to be in the East. It's like the best East team is like the 8th best West team. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous. That's just disrespectful.
Yeah, sadly, that is what it kind of looks like. But that kind of sums up the Warriors' season as a whole. Like, yeah, Steph has been doing his thing, and they just got Clay back, but they've had just a bunch of these role players step up, and everybody's like, who is that and what? And they're, like all these dudes that are, I hate to say no names, but just not as big marquee players that are really stepped up this year and been like, you know what? We want to be a title contender and help out our stars, so let's put in this work.
I will say this: that Draymond Green has not been half the NBA player that he used to be.
Yep.
Since he became like best friends with LeBron James. Like, I don't know what happened. He became best friends with LeBron James. They're running a business together, and now all of a sudden he seems soft. Now I say soft, he can come down here and whoop my ass. But on an NBA floor, he just seems a little soft. Like, he does not seem like he's the same player that he used to be.
Would you like to blame LeBron for the source of all problems in the world?
If you do business with LeBron, then apparently it affects you.
I'm sorry that LeBron is one of the wealthiest basketball players currently. If you want to do business with the man.
Listen, I would go into business with LeBron right now. Like, you tell me,
it's like if LeBron's like, you want to sell gum with me? It's like, yes, I want to sell gum with you.
If LeBron James is like, hey, you want to do like a taco truck on the side of Fowler Avenue? I'll do it. I don't give a crap. We'll make some money.
Anything,
I might get shot or robbed.
Fans.
But it's probably gonna happen. All that man does is print money.
Exactly.
He'd have a security detail out there. Don't even worry about it.
No, he wouldn't. That's how he's gonna make a profit. He's not gonna have security out there.
It's not gonna be an actual truck out there. It's gonna be just you standing there with tacos in your hand.
All right, folks. No other podcast talking about LeBron and a taco truck. So.
That's why we're the best. We're bringing things that other people aren't bringing.
Creating hypothetical situations.
Somebody at home Google LeBron taco truck. See if anything comes up that's viable.
Somebody's doing it right now.
Hey, we're not out here talking about Jalen Hurts being a comparison to Russell Wilson, and we're also not talking about a Cleveland defender that was a second-round pick by the Seahawks getting in a fight with the police naked in elementary school either. So that was something. That's a real deal. That man got CTE and Pee-wee if he out here naked at elementary school fighting cops naked. What are we doing?
Some GTA mission right there.
That man got 5 stars right now.
This man was like, "This is real life PlayStation right now."
What's the cheat code to rocket launcher?
Yeah,
I think we need to go to break before I bring up more stupid shit.
Folks, we will see you on the other side of this break. We'll be back in about 7.5 minutes or so. I cannot seem to find the break through all this other bullshit here, so give me like 5 seconds here. I'm gonna go ahead and just add in the break. We may not
realize you're talking to everybody, right? You're saying your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm speaking out loud to buy myself some time here. I must have just accidentally deleted it earlier on today, but anyway, folks, Shit, at this rate, we might just blow right on through.
I was like, as he tries to create filler information, to stall on the process.
If you guys want to hear the folders I'm clicking on, I can let you know that. But
I got the grass is green if you give enough sunlight.
I mean, we can talk about the fact that that Shaq's wearing the same shirt on this show for like the last 5 years.
I'm sorry that I work a job and I come here after work. Y'all hate on me so much.
Same shirt.
I'm sorry that I got 4 of the same freaking undershirts that I wear to work.
All right, folks, I got the fucking breakup. You hear us stop here talking about fucking outfit choices.
I'm pretty filler information to roast the hell out of me. That's is that what y'all know?
Listen, I went through the whole first half with no forehead jokes. You should be proud of me.
We'll be back in 7 minutes.
Oh, Team Johnson goes next. Pick number 10. Didn't even care to eat it. Who's next? Oh, Washington football team, DC. Oh, hold on, technicality. The checks is still on the table. Going back in. Oh, Sloth goes. Sorry, Uncle Shaq. And take the paper too. Fair enough. Okay, and then, oh man, Team Meyer. Is he gonna take it? Yeah, he's gonna take it. There it goes. Alright, who's going next? Oh, D plus 5 off the board. Alright, who's going next? Yeah, the paper does not count. Dowdy goes first, and then Team Lambert. It's going back in. Last 4. Who's pick number 4? Team Warren goes at 4. Who's going at 3? 3. Oh, Talking Demon goes at 3. Number 2. Oh, leave your own dad. You put him at number 2. What a shame. Congrats to Morgan, Washington football team, DC, number 1 pick.
I will show. How about this? Here's my bet. I will show up to the bar with the Juju jersey. If we win, I will give it to you, and you have to wear the Juju jersey on the show next Wednesday if the Steelers win.
But Shaq cannot take the jersey off at any point during the game.
That's fair.
fair enough.
The whole game.
They bring 5. Smith goes sideline. It's caught by Norman, who lost the football, and it's recovered by Swain. Inbounds with the clock running and no timeouts. And they scramble to kill it. Down to 3 and 2. They line up with 1.
Yeah, pretty freaking plain.
I'm chucking this shit. It's Del Mabry.
How can you not see that there is 1 second on the clock? This is emotional. Boy, you better fight the shit out of this, Gino. Oh, let's go. What do you mean, wide left? There was... No, he thought we were friends. Hey, you better fold that shit up. We ain't done yet. Come on. Get off the bar.
I respect your attitude here.
We'll be quiet.
No, it's great. You're laughing and having a good time.
He's the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
Did you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
8 fans fell out of the stands as Jalen Hurts is walking into the tunnel. I will just preface this by saying all those people were just fine, no serious injuries. They were all right, but goddamn, that was funny to watch.
Fortunately, knowing how the Eagles fans are built, the last thing you should do is lean their body weight against anything.
First of all, you got to be a real diehard Eagles fan to be reaching out that far to get a high five from Jalen Hurts. Like I said, is only averaging 188 yards passing a game. Okay, I'm just saying.
Live chat here, TW1. I swear, y'all come out of fucking potholes like cockroaches. Steady Eagles haters. We aren't going to win the Super Bowl, but we might win the wild card.
What does
maybe.
What does that matter? What does that matter?
TW1, 50% of teams have a shot at winning the wild card. Maybe.
I swear to God, these Eagles fans should really be riding whatever wave they can catch. They're going to catch a rip off a puddle that would rhyme it.
I love how we're not even talking about the Eagles right now.
Yes, it
Someone
is
tried
right.
to talk about
Fuck
it.
you even find this, bro.
He's like, we're talking about the other team in Pennsylvania, people.
First question. Who is currently leading the NFL in reception yards?
I'm going with Arizona.
I'm a player. Sorry, player.
Larry. I'm going with Larry.
Larry who?
Fitzgerald.
Oh my God. No.
Currently.
He's not still in the Arizona Cardinals? Where's he at?
Cooper.
Just drink.
Which current quarterback that is actively playing has thrown the most interceptions so far this season?
Heineke.
No. Okay, no. It's Mahomes and Zach Wilson. Dang it.
Really?
Yes.
Drink. You deserve that L. Do it.
Your head coach, Ron Rivera, he won a Super Bowl in the 80s as a part of what team?
Fuck it, Michigan.
No.
Wait.
NFL.
NFL.
Oh. Oakland Raiders.
That was a good guess.
That's good. It was Washington, wasn't it?
It was the Bears, actually.
Oh, the Bears. Okay.
Which current running back, has the most yards at the first initial contact?
Jesus.
45 seconds.
What was your answer? You were wiping your forehead. Don't worry about it.
What they got to do with me? My
Henry.
Does me wiping my forehead chase time?
It does, because that's like a time zone.
Who was our quarterback at Washington or Redskins? He was the first black quarterback on the Washington football team. Why are you asking me this? Oh my God. Jason Campbell.
No,
Hell no.
I was the first black
Get
quarterback.
out of here.
Nigga, he's black, isn't he?
The first black quarterback on Washington. Or Doug Williams is just as black. Ryan knows he needs some water.
If Ryan makes you do the entirety of the show, give him a medal award for it.
I mean, listen, hey, he thought that Fitzgerald was still playing, so.
Not just still playing, but had the most.
At an all-pro level.
Remember to follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at AFR Sports. That's at AFR Sports. Now back to the show featuring your hosts Jalen and Shaquille.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the second half of the show, episode 68. Coming back at you live. Shaq making it back just in time to hear the soothing sounds. Let's go ahead and run it right back.
I'ma keep it 100, girl. I'ma keep it real. I'ma tell you the truth. It don't matter how you feel. First class for my shirt.
That's what tequila does.
That's just a one shot, y'all. You get 3 shots of Usher. The good version of Usher. Good version.
It's a different show.
Yeah, look at this shorty. Heavy on shots.
We're gonna take shot number 2. This is the rest of the Espolone.
Okay, another shot made me saying good things about Dwight Howard.
That would be a shot of bleach to require that.
Oh my God. What is wrong with Shaq? What is he doing?
I put the shot right in my mouth as soon as this man said shot of bleach. I was like, I can't.
God damn it. You two want tequila. Jesus Christ.
It's so good. All right, folks. Now that we got the break figured out, I did delete it, folks. It's a long story. I had redone some stuff earlier, and then here we are. Must delete it again too. So there we go. All right. Getting into our community comments for the week. This week it is a whole lot of poll results. So we did a poll for not all the games, but most of the games from the Wildcard weekend. Some on TikTok, some on Instagram. So I'm just going to run you guys through what you picked on Instagram and TikTok. So if you don't already follow us, now it's in big bold letters at the top of the screen there. Now we can point wherever, and it doesn't matter. So only point up. It's at the top of the screen at AFR Sports. So if you want to be involved in the next poll, follow us on either platform, and there you go. So,
right. Hey, but before you do anything, Jen, could we just stop for the second that your fingers look like fucking E.T. when you do that? You have a long ass index finger. What are you phoning home?
Have something stuck in a corner or underneath something? Holla at your boy. I got you.
You're home. You don't need to phone home. Jesus Christ. All right.
Anyway, first game. This was the Bengals and Raiders. TikTok and Instagram called it right. You're almost the same percentage here. 78% picked Cincinnati on TikTok. 75 picked Cincinnati on Instagram, and then 22% Vegas on TikTok. 25% Vegas on Instagram. Next one, of course, you bastards on Instagram picked it correctly. 75% of you called Buffalo. 25% of you poor souls agreed with me. And next one, Dallas and San Francisco. This is where you guys came up a little strange here. 67% of you said Dallas, while 33% said San Francisco. Clearly,
it's America's team.
Yeah. They weren't watching our show because nobody here was on that train.
People wearing some big ass fucking hats picked that one.
Yep.
Yeah, like an open carry, you know.
Moving along. Don't get me down that rabbit hole, Jack.
We would be here for eternity.
Yeah, hopefully y'all off tomorrow if we're gonna go down that road. I for sure am not. So,
last but not least, yesterday's game, Rams in Arizona. TikTok got it right. 75% said LA, 25% said Arizona, and then Instagram was 50-50. So Instagram, you guys are coming up a little wonky this week. TikTok called it pretty well throughout the week, though.
Pictures.
What's that? Okay. All right, guys. We're going to move into the news for the week.
Today's top stories and breaking news.
All right, the news for this week, we're going to start off with the fact that the Seahawks fired their defensive coordinator. Malin, we're going straight to you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, Norton had to go. I liked that they also fired what they call the passing game coordinator. Like, that's not the secondary coach anymore, but whatever. But no, so Seattle was 10th in the league in points scored, right? So that's not bad. Okay. What's really bad is that they were 31st in yards as a defense. That's terrible. We're talking about a Pete Carroll defense that for 5 years in a row was the number one defense in yards allowed. And they went to a bend and don't break philosophy that bent a shit ton over this last year. Your two of your starting linebackers for the Seahawks had over 170 tackles. 170. Two of them on the same goddamn team. Like, that's just insane. Why? Because they're on the field so goddamn much. That's why.
Yeah.
So in a year where people were wanting change, and you know that Pete Carroll's not leaving right now, they're not going to fire John Schneider. Russell Wilson, I don't care what anybody says, he's not going anywhere right now.
Now
They had to make some changes. Oh, good lord! Like, can you just mute his microphone? Like, what is he talking about?
Morgan
You
Ryan
bring
think
up-
Morgan
bring
Ryan
up
think Wilson is
Morgan.
going to Washington.
I know, but every time you bring up his name, it's like the man couldn't even talk about the USFL, much less the NFL. So let me digress here. So the Seahawks are going to bring in a new defensive coordinator, but I really don't think it's going to do a whole lot because it's still going to be Pete Carroll's defense. Okay. Because he is the mastermind of this defense, and he doesn't want to change it. He's 70 years old. What 70-year-old wants to change what he's doing? You got a 70-year-old coach in Bill Belichick. What is he changing? Exactly nothing. So they're looking at two people right now, or actually three people. They're actually thinking about promoting somebody from within, but he's not important enough for me to actually really talk about because I never heard of his name before in my life. And I really hope they don't promote him because he's already on the defensive squad, and the defense was terrible. But they're going to interview the Broncos defensive coordinator. I think his name is Ed Donnell, which is fine, I guess. I don't know. He's 64. He's old. He'll fit right in with Pete. But they also want to interview the Bears defensive coordinator, which is a 37-year-old by the name of Sean Desai. And he had a decent year as a defensive coordinator. He was a first-year defensive coordinator for the Bears. They don't have the talent that even the Seahawks defense has. But what Seattle really has to do over this next offseason is they got a lot of question marks. Are they going to keep Bobby Wagner at a $13 million cap when they have a linebacking core that played really well when he didn't play the last 2 games of the year? They still have freaking Adams under contract for $70 million over the next 4 years. God bless us all. They got to re-sign Diggs, who is actually the best safety on the team. He's a free agent, and their best defensive back, Reed, is a free agent. So they have some free agency things that they got to deal with. So to me, defensive coordinator is kind of the least of my concerns because it's still going to be Pete Carroll's defense, no matter who's calling the shots.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with they needed some change within the coaching, and this was kind of like all right, who is the easiest person to get rid of right now? Had to be him. You guys just got this new offensive coordinator this past year, right?
Yeah, we got Shane Waldron from the Rams a year ago, and for the most part, like the offense was good in the first 2 to 3 weeks. But then once we lost Carson and Wilson got hurt, it was terrible. But then it's amazing what the offense can do when you have a running game like what Rashad Penny was doing. And so our offense is a lot like the Rams offense. It's based on the run. And when we couldn't run the ball, it was terrible. So I still have a little bit of faith in Shane Waldron. I want to see what maybe he can do if Wilson is healthy and the running back core is healthy. I don't want to fire him right off the bat, but Ken Norton has just been terrible for pretty much 3 out of the 4 years that he was the defensive coordinator anyways. And that defense cannot give up the amount of just yards. Forget the points, but when they give up the amount of yards they give up, they're giving up time of possession, and they're limiting the amount of times that Russell Wilson's on the field. And that's been kind of a cancer for the last couple of years for the Seahawks.
Shaq, any thoughts on this?
Defense seemed to be y'all struggle last season, so I don't disagree with this choice. If you had to eliminate somebody, it would be defensive coach. So go ahead and see what y'all can get for process. See if you can improve it. Maybe I can scrape into postseason next year.
Moving right along, we're going to go with the Clippers. They are electing to rest PG-13 for a few more weeks with his weird elbow injury that turned out to be a little more serious than originally expected. Not very good for them because obviously Kawhi's still out for the next little while here. Their next best player also out, and a lot of their other kind of role players are in and out of the lineup with their own injuries. They are significantly worse without Paul George, and their next 8 games are on the road. Clippers in a little bit of trouble right here. You guys seriously concerned with the Clippers, or they're kind of the team that out of everybody else, nobody has really talked about since last playoffs, even though their past couple of years have been like a title contender.
It makes me slightly worried about them.
Slightly.
I mean, 2 best players out. I mean, granted, once they come back, they're still gonna be an elite team, but like, can this team hold out enough and win enough of these games? I don't expect them to win all these games, but just enough to stay relevant. That's what it's about.
Okay.
Malin?
Does everyone remember when the Clippers signed Kawhi, George? They were supposed to supplant the Lakers,
right?
As the best team in the West, and then now neither team in LA is the best team in the West. Like they are an afterthought right now. They're not healthy. They're never going to be healthy. Kawhi Leonard, when has he been? The last time he was healthy, he won a title in Toronto, in Canada. Not even the United States of America. In Canada, he won a title. Like, they have not done what they were supposed to do in LA. Like, even when the Lakers are as bad as they are right now, they're nowhere close to supplanting the Lakers as the best team in LA. And so just George being out is just icing on the cake because the Clippers are always going to be the Clippers. It doesn't matter what they do. They're going to get their own arena. That's great. I don't maybe put 20 seats in the arena because that's all you need. They're terrible.
I don't know what you could do.
It is what it
19
is.
seats, but
just a tent.
I mean, Ballmer is going to be in one of those seats, and yeah.
So there you go.
So.
Yeah, they, like you said, this just goes to show like the Clippers will always be the Clippers. I think we and the fans of the Clippers will remember this past few years as like the Kawhi years, but both of these guys are leaving. Like once they can get up out of there, I don't think that they're gonna stick around here.
The Blake Griffin, Chris Paul era was way more successful than this era of the Clippers.
Yes.
And they're not even successful.
Right.
So, I mean, come on. Like, what I don't know. I don't know why we're talking about the Clippers. This is crazy. This is...
G-Money's asking, will Kawhi actually be back this year? Well, if they don't make the playoffs this year, then probably not.
He's not coming back, and if he is, he'll play for 5 games and be shut down again. Like that. That's what he does.
Why isn't he being called street clothes of all people? This man's played like a handful of games this season. Look, street clothes. That's all he is.
I don't know. Listen, Kawhi is a talent. He is when he's healthy. He's one of the top 5 players in the league.
Right.
I think that's
healthy, probably the only reason he's not called street clothes is AD. He'll be healthy and you barely even notice he's out there sometimes. Kawhi is when he is out there, he's still that dude.
And Kawhi is a great scorer, and he's an all-time defender when he's healthy. But the problem is he's not healthy. So yeah, the Clippers are going to be a non-starter this year, just like they have been for their entire existence as a franchise. They should have moved him to Seattle 5 years ago, and then I'd be mad that Kawhi's on my team, being a Sonics fan. So it is what it is.
Last but not least, speaking of healthy, Kyrie's still rooted in his decision to not get vaccinated, even with his co-star Kevin Durant expected to miss the next 4 to 6 weeks with his knee injury. He was asked about it last night or night before after a game, and he was basically like, Yeah, that sucks, but I'm still not getting the jab because I still believe what I do, and I'm gonna keep playing these road games and road games only. So
why are we surprised? This man realized he could still get paid and still do what he wants. So it doesn't surprise me that he's not gonna change his mind. So he is who he's gonna be. So
I have come to the conclusion that Kyrie is the richest dumb person on the planet. That's my take. He's made more money with the talent in his pinky than I'll make in my entire life. But what's going on upstairs scares the shit out of me. Like, people with this type of money, they should not be interviewed. They really shouldn't. Like, you shouldn't just talk to them. Like, whatever he says is not smart. The earth is still flat. He's against vaccines. He's against health. I don't know. He doesn't even have a rhyme or reason why he doesn't believe in the vaccinations. He's just I don't know, like Joe Rogan is his doctor, just like Aaron Rodgers, whatever.
But he has the opinion of the general public. You tell people, "Oh, you got COVID," but I got the vaccines. What do you mean I got COVID? I thought I couldn't get COVID with the vaccines. Like, that's not the point of the vaccine. The vaccine, so if you do get COVID, you don't die when you get it. That's the point of the vaccine. It's like, what do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. It's like, all right, man, I'm not gonna sit here and debate with you on what makes sense in your realm and what makes sense in the world. But
well, I will say this: like, there is a lot of confusion, a lot of dumbass things going on with the corona right now. Like, the CDC can't make up their mind on like what's important. Even in retail, like, just until this last week, if you had the vaccine and you were exposed to somebody, you didn't have to isolate. But if you didn't have the vaccine and you were exposed and you had to isolate, even though the vaccine, like we all know, doesn't mean you're not going to get corona. It just means that maybe it's not going to be as bad. It doesn't mean you can't transmit it. So, I mean, even the CDC is stupid when it comes to the coronavirus right now. So they're now finally starting to change some things, the CDC is, to make it a little bit, more transparent, a little bit harder on me as I run a Starbucks. But Kyrie, like, we should just keep a microphone away from him. Like, he doesn't need a microphone. Like, just let him play on away games. Let him do what he wants to do. Do that head popping out behind you, Jalen, just scared the shit out of me. But anyways.
Like the same one behind you.
That was scary shit. Yeah, and you guys thought someone was going to come behind me with that moon. But the moon is gone, people. There ain't no goddamn werewolves.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
But no, I don't know. Kyrie is a different animal. Different. And when I say different, it's not a good different. It's not good.
Yeah, you guys summed it up. I have nothing more to say about Kyrie West here. Now that we will move out of our bi-weekly Kyrie vaccination segment of the show, we are going to head right into the last segment. Now, folks, I understand that this is called the Ride or Die in 5. But in order to get down to 5, we got to get it below 20 first. So let's start with the Ride or Die in 20. It's 25. And we'll go from there. But
I kind of feel like that's a shot at me.
Only because it rolls smoothly off the tongue. Ride or Die in 25.
Right. We only have 4 games on the dock this week, so
and it will still take us 25. That's true.
Let's see what we can do here, gentlemen.
I kind of feel like this is directed at me. I don't know how I feel about this.
This is directed at every goddamn cell on this show.
They got bad time management. That's all it comes down to.
We are going to start off with the first. Let's just mention our records here at the bottom of the screen. Obviously, a lot has changed on the show recently, but now our records are down there. Malin is 26-14. I am 40-43, and then Shaq is 38-43. Yeah, Malin I think both Malin and I only guessed one game wrong. Shaq got 2 games wrong this past weekend. Everything all right, Shaq?
He just feels like, yep. Guess 2 games wrong.
Yeah, no. I was mad about the one I missed, but
the Cardinals one? Is that what you're mad about? The one that you should have guessed?
Okay.
Well, the Cardinals didn't win. The Rams won. Shaq.
I'm aware of that. Trust me.
At least I didn't.
Right.
At least I didn't pick the Steelers to win.
I'm trying to be a committed fan, and this is why this segment is 35 minutes long. So
you talk so much. Don't act like you're a committed fan. You talk so much shit about your own team.
This is exactly why this segment is so. I need to just erase these records. Just don't even worry about who's winning what.
I love that for some reason the image I have of Shaq, because I have a different view than the rest of America. There's this certain part of the mic that makes it look like he has a gap. He's looking like Mike Tyson over there. So I'm just glad that you can pronunciate shit right now, Shaq. I'm proud of that. Let's go.
Exactly why this show is long. A couple of the shows like 3.5 hours long. I'm trying to figure out.
Here we go. Ride or die in 25.
45.
Let's
Bengals at the Titans. First game, 4:30 this Saturday on CBS. Titans are 3.5-point favorites at home. I have scrubbed away all the other non-necessary betting areas that we are no longer betting on. So, 3.5-point favorites are the Titans at home. Malin, who do you like on this one?
All right. First of all, 2 things. One, I'd like to thank you for getting rid of the over/under, as that's a bitch move. Second, one bitch move is making me go first. Kind of an asshole thing. Because
we are rotating.
Shaq's gonna do some dumb shit. Certain things. So Derrick Henry's back in this game. So Derrick Henry's back, but since his offense never left. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Bengals on this one. I just think that offense has been too much. It's been too consistent and it's been too turnover free. They have not been turning the ball over. They have not even had to rely on the running game. I just saw Shaq laughing, so that probably means he's going to take the Bengals too. That's going to piss me off. I'm going to kick you in the dick. But the Bengals are 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 games, so I'm taking the Bengals with the 3.5 points. Let's go.
Jeremy would go next.
Well, he's already doomed you, Malin, so I might as well go ahead and also agree with you, because I know where Shaq is going on this one.
Oh, I hate you so much, Shaq.
Look, I didn't pick the pecking order. I just went ahead and.
Okay, I'm also going with the Bengals. The talent of them, I feel like they're going to continue this momentum. Titans are unfortunately, they are the boring team in the AFC. Yes, they are the number 1 seed, but they are they're like the Patriots of the AFC right now, where it's like there's nothing star-studded or, flashy about them, but they're just going to kind of methodically beat you, rather than Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati, flashy, high-powered offenses that are just all over the screen and can really put up points fast. Which I think that's just the way that the AFC moves right now, and really the NFL in a whole moves right now, which plays into the Bengals' favor here.
I think it's actually kind of disrespectful that you just lump the Patriots and Titans in the same boat right there, because the Titans are the number 1 seed. Like, come on, man! Like, what are you doing?
Sorry, let me apologize.
One last time.
Not
you guys are there.
The current Patriots team, but historically.
Yeah. But just historically, okay. I mean, they are well balanced. These 2 teams are evenly balanced. Okay, so
they are.
I mean, like Cincinnati has the 13th ranked offense and the 18th ranked defense, and Tennessee has the 17th ranked offense and the 12th ranked defense. So like they are within like a couple teams from each other. So they are close. I'm taking Cincy because I do think that Burrow is just going to go off and Mixon's going to have a day or whatever. But no, the Titans are a lot better than the Patriots. Good Lord. But now let's go ahead and hear how Shaq is gonna fuck up the playoffs for everybody.
I say the Bengals are gonna win this game by. I'm gonna agree with G Money here and say they'll win this game by 3 points towards the end of this game. Yes, it's gonna be a pop off. The end of the game is kind of there.
I believe he's saying take the 3-point.
Oh, then never mind. Yeah, the Bengals are gonna. I still agree the Bengals are gonna win this game by 3 points.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's my vote for this right here. Y'all can hate me as much as you want. I say this next game, Jalen goes first.
Sure, I'll go first now. As long as I can go last on one of these. Jesus Christ.
Yes. Y'all just don't want to go out go before me. That's all.
We really don't. You're just bad juju. Like, Jalen actually has a shot of going above 500 for the year, and you're kind of fucking it up. So,
next up, we have the Niners at Green Bay. Green Bay 6-point favorites at home. This is the night game on Fox this Saturday. I am going to just go with the safe pick here. I'm going to take the Packers to cover the 6 points. I think they're the best team in the remaining NFL right now. They're well rested. They've got guys coming back from injury. San Francisco, hey, it was great that you guys bounced the Cowboys right up out of here, but I feel like this is kind of the end of the road for you guys. I just feel like they're going to get beat by 10 to 14 points in this game. Like, the Packers should handle this pretty well, especially since it's in Green Bay. It's going to be freezing out there. Not that the 49ers can't play in inclement weather, but this is kind of a different territory in a hole for them. So I'm going to say Packers -6. Whoever wants to go next, I'll put that out there for anybody.
Did you want me to go next, Melon? So I'm going to go ahead, and since I predicted Green Bay to go to the Super Bowl, I'm going to go ahead and say Green Bay wins this game 21-14. That will be my prediction for this game. I say, yeah. I have big faith in them. They see them going to the Super Bowl, so they're going to I'm not going to say kick shit, but they're going to win this game. Faith in A-Rod and try to prove a point this season.
Mainly?
Okay, well, I will say this, that I do think that Green Bay has the talent to overcome the bad juju that Shaq can put on them with picking them to win a game, even though you went as far as to say you got faith in A-Rod. So that probably means you're going to get hurt in the game. That's some shit, Shaq. Like, that's not nice. But no, I just don't see. I just don't see a scenario where Green Bay loses this game. You got Aaron Rodgers. This might be his last year in Green Bay. He's going to win his second consecutive MVP. The fans are in the stands. It is going to be colder. It's not going to be maybe as cold as what you think, Jalen. I think it's actually only going to be like 45 degrees.
Really?
Yeah. But Aaron Rodgers is on a mission. And the biggest middle finger that he could give to Green Bay is going to the Super Bowl and then leaving after that, or forcing a trade and saying, have fun with Jordan Love. And so I do think they'll win this game. I think the only thing that the Green Bay is going to have to do is they're going to have to minimize the San Francisco rushing attack. If they can minimize the San Francisco rushing attack, okay, because Mitchell had 89 yards last week. Deebo Samuel, for God's sakes, had 72 yards rushing last week against Dallas. So they have to minimize the rushing game, and they have to put it in the hands of Jimmy G, which Jimmy G is dealing with a torn ligament in his wrist and an elbow injury. Okay? So if they get it in the hands of Jimmy G, and San Francisco cannot control the clock and control the ball like they did last week, okay? Let's keep in mind, Jimmy G, like, he tried to hand deliver the game to Dallas gift wrapped in a basket with some chocolates. Like he tried to let Dallas win that game last week, and Dallas was like, "No, we don't want the chocolates." So I do think that Green Bay is going to end up winning that game. So I would take Green Bay in the points.
As of today, the weather forecast is supposed to be a high of 22 on Saturday, with roughly a 40% chance of light snow in the morning.
Well, damn, that changed since I looked at it on Sunday. So damn. Okay. Well, anyways, 25 degrees.
Sounds like
that's nothing.
Great temperature to go play football in.
That's not -7 where the Patriots got their ass beat. So
next game. Going to a much warmer climate here in good old Tampa Bay. The Rams are coming to town. I don't know how the Rams got that. Anyway. The Bucks are 3-point favorites at home against the Rams. This one is 3:00 on NBC. I believe it's on NBC. Even though this is kind of a weird time for an NBC game. I went first on the last one. Anybody want to go first on this one?
I guess I'll go first since everybody else went first on this one.
There we go.
I say the Bucks win this game. I say it's a close game all the way up until the fourth quarter. The Bucks go ahead by. I say they go ahead by a touchdown in the fourth quarter of this game. So I give it to them.
Malin.
All right. The money line on this is 50-50 right now.
Yeah.
Even though the Bucks got a 3-point spread. Leonard Fournette is supposed to come back in this game. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury. He's still on IR. They activated him. He's been practicing. He didn't play last week. He's supposed to play this week. I'm going to go Rams on this game with the points. And the reason why I'm doing it is that I think that the Rams running game, okay, the injuries on the offensive line with Tampa, I think it's going to be hard for them to get any type of momentum running the ball on this Rams defense. With Donald, Von Miller out there, like the same havoc that they put on the Cardinals, I think they're going to be able to do to the Bucks. And I do think it's going to be a close game. But if you're asking me to pick a team with some points, I'm going to take the Rams with the points on this one.
Damn it. Gonna have to agree with Shaq on this one. Unfortunately,
that means I'm right.
Unfortunately, I see Tom Brady not losing to this team twice this year. One way or another, he will figure them out and get the job done and win this by probably about a field goal, maybe a touch. I'll give him a touchdown. I'll say they win this by about a touchdown. And I think the Bucks will cover at home and move on to the NFC Championship game to play the Packers.
But before we go on, can I just make one point here? Okay, they played in week 2 or 3 of this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Rams won 34-24, I think, in that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the Bucks had Godwin. He was healthy then, right? And the Bucks also had AB. He was healthy, right? Okay. You know who the leading rusher was in that game for the Bucks when they lost?
I do not.
It was Tom Brady. 3 rushes for 14 yards. So now you're asking Tom Brady to be the leading rusher, and without his 2 best options that he's had all year in AB and Godwin. Mike Evans was an afterthought for most of this year, and Gronk has not been Gronk of years past. So I'm just saying, that's what you're asking for.
Let me also throw this out. Last year, the Bucks could not beat the Saints until this very round of the playoffs came around, and then they beat them. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, are you talking about the same, like, I don't know, 41-year-old Drew Brees that was actually 50-year-old, like, right arm? Is that what we're talking
Are
about?
we talking about the same Matt Stafford that can easily throw 3 picks in this game?
No, actually, he has not thrown 3 picks in the game all year. He's only thrown 2, and he does lead the league in pick sixes. But so don't act like you can throw some facts out at me, Jalen, and I can't back it up. All right,
I'm just saying, TB12 in postseason is a different animal.
I'm just saying that he was the leading rusher the last time, and you don't think that the Bucks need a running game to beat this Rams team?
They do. They got
You don't
Fournette
think they had a
back.
running game? They had Fournette in week 2, and Brady was the leading rusher with 14 yards on 3 carries.
Yes, but they've seen them now. Brady's got them downloaded now.
And now the Rams have Von Miller that's just hurting people. I'm just saying, man, it's going to be a different ball game. It's going to be a crazy one. It'll be crazy.
It'll be a close game.
Close, but it's going to be crazy.
Be a close game, without a doubt.
So when I'm right next week, saying.
All right, we're gonna move on to the last game here. Another doozy here. Eesh, this one, Buffalo at Kansas City. 2-point favorites are the Chiefs at 6:30 on CBS Sunday evening. I have no idea what the temperature on this one is. Doesn't really matter. Both are cold weather teams anyway. Yeah. 2-point favorites. Malin, let's go to you first here. This is basically a pick 'em.
Wait a minute. Why are we going back to me first? That is okay.
We made full circle.
It's cute, Shaq. You know shapes. I like it. All right.
My head's Bill circle. So I know shapes.
No, it's definitely oblong. There's some oblong shit going on there. It's not spherical. There's definitely a higher top than there is anything.
Can I go to G Money real quick here in the chat? He says, Patty McStats needs to stop dissing seniors, or he may or may not find himself coming back from Vegas. This desert is a big place. The desert is a big place.
So what I hear going on right now is that G Money is gonna murder me when I'm in Vegas. So if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out on top, G Money. I'm gonna go out in the best place in the world, which is Vegas. But you kill me, maybe my wife's not gonna be as lucky on the slot machines, and you guys want my wife to be lucky on the slot machines. So anyways, this game, this is a really hard one to pick because they're only given 2 points to Kansas City, and the home team always gets 3 points. So the fact that they're knocking a point off is saying something. Like, this is going to be one of those games, in my opinion. Like, if I'm betting money, which I bet on every game we do on Ride or Die in 5. So thank you, Jalen, for making me put money on this. It's really hard to bet on. Shut up. I'm actually going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say Buffalo on this one.
Shaq, you're definitely going next.
Only because I think that you're going up against I know the Chiefs have the number 3 offense, okay? I know that. And I know that Buffalo has the number 5 offense in the league. But Buffalo has the number 1 defense, okay? And KC has the 27th ranked defense. So I think that push comes to shove, it's damn near a pick'em game. All right. I think that this could be one of those defining moments in Josh Allen's career where Buffalo could pull out a win and get themselves in the AFC Championship game. And beyond that, I'm kind of tired of people talking about KC being a dynasty because they've won 1 Super Bowl. Like, it's a little bit upsetting to me. So, I mean, like, you literally had Tyreek Hill, I think, last year doing a LeBron James thing. Oh, we're going to win, like, not 5, not 6, but we're going to win 7 Super Bowls. Like, shut up. Like, the NFL is hard to win. It's hard to win a championship in the NFL. And I just think that Buffalo is a little bit more talented right now on offense and defense combined.
Shaq.
So I'm gonna choose Buffalo to win this game because.
Okay, I changed my motherfucking.
Because first and foremost, fuck Kansas City. And if there's a team to beat them, I am hoping that Buffalo is that team. Very much powerhouse offense, and if there's any offense to compete with them, is them. And like man just said, their defense, very very good defense. So there we go, Buffalo to win, not by a lot, field goal. I say they win by a field goal, but I say Kansas City, this is your out right here.
Okay, so if I'm wrong next week, everybody, we know the reason why I'm wrong.
Malin, I'm giving you one last chance here. If you want to jump ship before we get out of here.
No, I'm not jumping ship. But
okay.
Damn you, Shaq. God bless America, son of a bitch.
God bless America.
You know, I did pick the Buffalo Bills to go to the AFC Championship this year. But the Chiefs ain't done yet.
Oh, so you're going back on your pick?
Yes.
This man is waffling on his pick. He's a Benedict Arnold. He's a Benedict Arnold.
Shaq and I have agreed on all picks tonight. So, therefore, if there's one game, I was hoping if this comes down to it, this is one game that could really go either way. Give me the Chiefs at home. Since they're at home, that really plays into their favor. Like we mentioned earlier in the show, it does not take much for them to gain some momentum. And kind of like the fact that they did get their shit kicked in earlier this year in Kansas City by the same exact team. I think they're going to come out with a much, much better approach this game. And Patrick Mahomes is not going to be that same Mahomes we saw earlier this year when he was playing like trash. Yeah, give me the Chiefs to win this one by a field goal. So it'll be close without a doubt. It'll come down to the last second, and Tommy Romo will be screaming on the broadcast. But I think Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs pull this out by a kick.
Wait, so you're not even going to take the points? You're going to add a point?
Yeah, I said they win by field goal for sure.
Okay, so you don't even just want the 2 points. You want 3 points.
Yeah, take the money line here, folks.
Okay. Shaq, I love you, but I hate you at the same time.
Now, granted, had Shaq said the other thing, I would have fully agreed with Malin and said, Buffalo, you're going to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. I mean, and now, listen, people in America might be thinking right now that we give Shaq too much power and say in the universe. But if you watch this show on a weekly basis, you know that that's not true.
No.
Like, this man's forehead is like fucking Megamind. Like, he thinks shit, and it fucking happens. So, it's a problem. So, that's why we don't like to fuck around with the forehead.
And here we are with my team sitting at home watching playoffs.
Well, it's because he speaks so negatively about them that they actually perform negatively.
Some sort of weird.
It had to take Big Ben retiring, which he hasn't even officially done, for him to say something nice about the man. Even though we won him 2 Super Bowls, even though one shouldn't have counted, but he won 2 Super Bowls.
Okay, all right. I guess what happens. The only team out there with a fluke Super Bowl are the Eagles, but
I don't know. Hey, listen, Tom Brady finally caught a pass against the Eagles on the sideline. Do you guys see that? That out of bounds throw by Jalen Hurts. About that. He missed the one that really counted in the Super Bowl, but he caught that one on the sideline. He was really fucking happy about it too. He's like, "Here's my chance."
It's a
got it. He dropped it. He dropped his helmet and everything.
Throwing him a ball to catch it.
He dropped his helmet and everything. Now that's the first time that I actually saw Tom Brady actually holding his helmet for the first time in like 20 years anyways. Like he says, someone was holding his helmet. But he was holding it there and he dropped it about the football. God bless him.
All right, folks. That will do it for this week's episode of your favorite podcast on Earth. Anything else you guys want to mention before we get up out of here?
Thank you for watching this chaos.
Well, the only chaos we have is Shaq making picks.
Yeah, buddy.
But I would just like to say thank you for everyone for tuning in. And when you say the best podcast on earth, like who is broadcasting from the moon that we don't know about that's talking about sports?
That's a good question.
Yeah, they throw the ET finger and you make us think that you know something we don't know. Jesus Lord.
Once, we dominate the charts here, we got to worry about the next planet over. So keep that in mind.
Why you're so good at That's why you're so good at tattoos, Jalen. You got them big ass fingers I never realized before. Yeah.
So many jokes.
Correlation between finger size and tattoos.
Hey, he's got a good grip. Got a good grip on that ink thing, man. Got a good grip.
All right, folks.
Right. We're hitting out a very weird subject right now. So.
We will talk to you all next Wednesday, and basketball is going to make more and more of its return as football starts to here. I just sent this to a break prematurely, and we will talk to you all next week. Peace.
Professional radio people.